Sounds good.
Okay, we're good to go, Ted.
Perfect timing. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the December 7th meeting of the City of Sebastopol Design Review Board. This meeting is being conducted utilizing teleconferencing and electronic means consistent with the state of California executive orders regarding COVID-19. Live stream and Zoom is being utilized for this meeting. In case of technical issues, meetings will be uploaded to the city website as soon as possible after this meeting concludes. We will be conducting today's meeting in a virtual setting using Zoom. Design Review Board members and staff are participating from remote locations, practicing appropriate social distancing. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting by use of Zoom, as noted on the city's website and noted on the agenda. Members of the public wishing to speak may do so during public comment or may comment on agenda items during the discussion of each item and must be logged into Zoom to do so. Anyone using abusive, vulgar, offensive, threatening, or harassing language, personal attacks of any kind, or offensive terms that target specific individuals or groups will be muted and removed from the meeting. Please do not abuse this new way to provide public comment. So there we are. Let's see. John, would you mind doing a roll call for us?
Yep. Christine Lovell.
She raised her hand.
Okay. Christine, I
loves
see
the
you.
hand raised.
I'm here.
Thank you. Carrie Bush. Here. Marshall Balf.
Marshall is muted.
Unmute.
There we go.
There he is.
Thank you. Melissa Hanley.
Everybody.
Hello.
Thank you. Vice Chair Lars Langberg.
Here.
And Chair Ted Luthen.
Here.
Wonderful. I have all members in attendance today.
Thank you for that. All right. We don't have any minutes to approve. So planning department update on matters of general interest. John, what is going on?
The most recent project that we recently got in was the City Ventures project. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in our last meeting or not. At the north end of town behind the O'Reilly building. So that project did go through a preliminary review a couple years back, and then kind of went dormant during the COVID situation, and has now submitted a formal application, and that's going through review. The other thing that I will mention is we have our housing element at the Planning Commission meeting next week, with the recommendation to City Council for adoption. So I would encourage anyone that's on this meeting or listening within the public to attend if you have any questions or need things answered. We will also be having the preliminary review for Kathy Austin's project at 7621 Healdsburg Avenue. I know that I last spoke to all of you about doing a joint meeting. We were unable to come up with a date that worked for everybody. So we're just going to do the Planning Commission meeting next week. And then the DRB will see that same project on the 21st at our regular scheduled meeting there. You are welcome to attend the Planning Commission meeting on the 13th. However, if you have any questions, they should pertain to as a member of the public. If you have any specific questions as a board member, I would ask that you keep those for the meeting on the 21st.
Okay.
And I believe that is it.
All right. I see Christine's hand is up. Christine, what do you got? Christine, you're muted.
Yes. Okay,
There she is.
sorry.
Hello.
John, can you send me an invite to the Planning Commission meeting for Zoom?
send you the,
I won't be here on the 21st, remember?
okay. Okay, I will
Yeah.
include that when we send out the agenda and packet tomorrow.
I appreciate that, John, thanks.
No problem.
Sounds great. Thank you, John. Let's see. Any conflicts of interest? I assume if there were. There's only one item on our agenda. Let's see. Do we have any comments from the public regarding items not on our agenda? Seeing no hands up.
Department did not receive any comments for items not on the agenda today.
All right, let's just roll into our one and only regular agenda item, 700 Gravenstein North Starbucks signage. John, will you give us a staff report, please?
Yeah, so the applicant David Ford is proposing signage for the new Starbucks located at 700 Gravenstein Highway North. This new Starbucks location was approved for its continuation of a drive-through use by the Planning Commission, and the building exterior design was reviewed and approved by the Design Review Board earlier this year. The proposed project adds new signage for the Starbucks. Previously, this location was a Burger King that had an approved drive-through use and menu signage. The applicant is proposing the following signage, which include 3 round logo wall signs, 1 Starbucks wall sign, a wall-mounted drive-through directional sign, 1 pre-sale menu board, 1 menu board, 1 order screen, and then also some directional signage. As noted in the staff report, there is an exception for a couple of the signs proposed. The additional wall sign, the zoning code allows for 2 wall signs. Starbucks is proposing 3, but with not having a monument sign for this project, staff feels that the additional wall sign is appropriate with the need for a monument sign not required here. The other exception is for the square footage exceedance on the drive-through and exit signs. Normally we would exempt those signs 2 square feet or less. The signage here in this package is a little bit over that, so that was the second exception. I also have David Ford, the applicant, here to if he has a presentation or is available for any questions that the board may have.
Okay. Thank you, John. Just a quick clarification. 3 wall signs. I'm seeing 4. I'm seeing 3 round discs and 1 set of Starbucks letters. 1 on each frontage.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. I want to make sure I wasn't missing something.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that clarification. Questions of staff from board members?
Just to clarify, also, there's a drive-through sign on the building as well as over in the drive-through. So there's actually, in a way, 5 signs on the building.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of figuring that drive-through was almost part of the Starbucks sign, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I had one question, John. So when you're saying that they're not doing a monument sign, but there's one in the shopping center. So even though the shopping center has one, this building technically would be allowed its own monument sign?
So they would be allowed to have their own monument sign if they were going to attach signage to the main shopping center sign. Then they would have to go through the shopping center's sign program to have their sign affixed to that location.
Right. Okay.
If its own separate signage.
Because it's its own little building within the shopping strip
Yeah.
mall. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
It's its own separate parcel, essentially. So.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, just one other thing I noted was that the directional sign square footage is a little funny. If you look at page 19 of 24, kind of depends on, I'm not sure why there's two square footage numbers here. I think one is for if you take the entire sign, including the kind of open base, and one is if you just take the face. So just the faces of those directional signs, they're pretty small. They're 3.2 square feet and 2.6. You take the square footage of the entire structure, it gets more, but the structure is fairly open. Just a point.
And I know that for signs that are double faced, we would count the square footage for both sides.
Okay.
That's where the exceeding part comes in.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. Any other questions? And if not, we'll ask our applicant to say a few words if they would like to.
Good evening. My name is David Ford. I am the applicant. I'm representing Alpha Signs, who is the contractor that will be working on the installation of the signage. I don't really have anything else to add to the presentation. I think John pretty much covered all of the proposed signage for the building and for the drive-through, but I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about it.
All right. Thank you, David. Any questions of our applicant from board members?
Where's the snowy location the signs are at? I like that. It's great. It's hilarious to see that compared to what we're looking at. I have no questions of the applicant.
All right. I have a couple. So the Starbucks letters on the south elevation, they're letters mounted on a raceway mounted on a roof. What color is that raceway?
The raceway, I believe, is going to be black, but it's designed to match the color of the roof.
Okay.
I think that's what it's shown as on here, but it would be matched to match the roof, so it really doesn't show up, and it is going to, blend in, I guess, as best it can with the color.
Okay. Yeah, I thought the roof was black, but I couldn't remember from our design review meeting. All right, and then
The overall building, from my recollection, is close to the one that was just rehabbed at the north end of that shopping center. So it's similar in like kind of the whitish cream exterior and then the black, dark galvanized roofing.
gotcha. Okay. All right. And I guess my only other question is, in terms of the city of Sebastopol in general discourages internal lighting. Did you give any consideration to external lighting? I know the Starbucks south of town is all externally lit letters, and these are all internal. Was there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if, what discussions may have been made, by Starbucks as far as what they wanted for lighting. I know that this is, kind of their standard package, with the internally illuminated signs. I'm not sure where that other site is located, and if it's, if it's in a shopping center, or if it's, close to residential or something like that, or if it was a requirement that be externally lit. I know that they typically prefer the internal illumination, as opposed to having to, install like flood, downlighting or gooseneck or floodlights or something on the building, to light them. So I'm sorry, I don't know what the conversations they may have had. I know that this is pretty much their standard sign package.
Okay. All right. Any other questions of our applicant? Seeing none and no hands going up. Thank you, David, for the run through. I'll call it back to the board for deliberations. Comments. Why don't we go around the room here? Melissa, any comments?
I don't have any comments on this.
Okay. Christine?
Well, I'm going to comment on the three things we have at hand that I see, which is the number of signs on the building, the square footage of the finding signs, and the internal illumination. So as far as the building itself, I feel like we had a precedent before where we had a multi-sided building where we allowed additional signs. Because it's not like a standard storefront where you can just start plastering signs on the front, just goes all the way around and it's one on each side. And I think that that's certainly, I think, as I recall, we have a precedent for allowing that. And I certainly would feel that we've got one sign on each side of the building and I would approve that. Regarding the additional square footage on the wayfinding, I feel personally that wayfinding is important and I don't have a problem with the additional square footage. And then regarding the internal illumination, I think we've been, pretty consistent about denying the internal illumination, and I don't see any reason on this building why we should have a special exception. So I think we would have to go to our standard of external illumination.
Excellent.
Those are my comments.
Thanks, Christine. Marshall, any comments?
No comments.
Okay. Carrie, how about you?
I don't really have any comments. I mean, other than I read the staff report, seems pretty straightforward. It's, meeting the staff level approval. So I'm a little more inclined in that direction.
Yeah. All right. Lars, comments?
No comments.
Okay.
I
I think,
sorry,
go
just
ahead,
a
Melissa.
quick question. Are the other tenant signs internally illuminated in that shopping center? I feel like
I believe some of them are, and they're the old, a lot of them are the older style before the internal illumination was not the preferred way within Sebastopol.
okay.
I know that did come up, I believe, when we looked at the sign program for the shopping center in general, that, some of those were going to change over time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, they've got old kind of cabinet signs suspended from the soffit
Mhm.
from the arcade.
Mhm.
And then, so, I'm inclined to agree with Christine. I think wayfinding is important here. We talked about that when it came to design review. Getting people in and out of there is important. And I think the additional square footage is modest. And I also think just overall in the building, in terms of the number of signs, I think overall in the building, they're under, even with all these signs, all one sign per frontage, 4 signs total on the building. They're significantly under their maximum square footage. I think their max is like 150 square feet and they're asking for 114. So it seems like a reasonable amount of signage. I like that they're using logos and not letters on every frontage. So it's more kind of a decorative element. And I agree with Christine that we have been fairly adamant about external lighting. I think that's why the Starbucks south of town has external lighting on that, and a lot of the other things in town do. So I would tend to, approve the additional signs and square footages, but ask them to come back with a externally lit solution.
Was the Exchange Bank the new building that I have? I thought I remember its sign was more of an old style that we were looking at, but I don't remember the lighting of it.
I think it was Halo, like a Halo lit, right?
I think it was Halo lit.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
And I think, Halo lit would be nice.
Yeah.
I'd support that, a Halo lit solution.
So it doesn't have to be gooseneck type fixtures or something. That would be
Yeah.
another idea. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think Halo lit lighting would be nice.
Mhm.
Okay.
So just something other than straight up lit faces.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. We also need to open it up for public comment.
All right. Anybody from the public have anything to say, or have we received any comments?
We did not receive any public comments for this project.
All right. Thanks for the reminder, John. All right. Somebody want to throw a motion on the table and see where we go? And you know what?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
I was going to,
So
but you beat me to it, Christine.
Well, we're gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
You can say it if you want.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, I motion that we allow the 4 signs, one on each face, and the increased square footage for the wayfinding, and that we ask the applicant to come back with a non-internally illuminated sign solution. But I suppose that could go to staff, not the board.
That's what I was gonna ask, if you
Yeah.
were okay with staff approving that
Mhm.
external
I think-
illumination.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, yes.
Yep, and I would just add, if you're agreeable to this, Christine, that it also includes halo lighting as a, external illumination.
Okay, yes, I
You okay
like
with
that.
that?
I'm in agreement. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. We have a motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second that.
Good. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? I'm not seeing any hands going up. I'm seeing heads shaking. Let's call the question. All in favor? Say aye, raise a hand. Aye.
Aye.
Sounds like unanimous.
the applicant provide a revised set of plans to include halo lighting for the illumination and the allowance for the 4 wall signs and increase square footage on the directional wayfinding signage.
That sounds good.
Again.
All right. Let's see. Do we have anything else on our agenda, John? I don't think we do.
I'll give a subcommittee update.
Oh, let's go to subcommittee update.
So Christine and I are both on the subcommittee of design, objective design guidelines, and the city has hired a consultant that has done an initial round of work. We met with them. We gave a little bit of feedback, and now we're setting up like a whole round of meetings where they'll begin kind of bringing their recommendations forward, and we get to give feedback. So it's Christine and I and Paul Fritz from the Planning Commission, and I think still at the moment Patrick Slater has been, from the council, and it's not 100% clear if he will stay or someone will take his place or what's going to happen on that front.
Will depend on the city council's direction to staff on that, filling that position. If it's going to be a council person, or if they'll open it up for a member of the public to take at least one position on that subcommittee.
So the council, right now, the subcommittee is formed where it has a council member. So I guess if someone on the council wants to step in, that's the first prerogative probably. And then if nobody does, then they could open it up or something.
Yeah, so that was, thank you for mentioning the councils. That's what I forgot to mention earlier. Last night, they appointed the 3 new council members. So Councilmember McLewis, Councilmember Zolman, and Councilmember Mauer, and then gave the farewells to Councilmember Gurney, Mayor Slater, and Councilmember Glass. So the subcommittee stuff, I believe, will happen at their next meeting, where they'll do the new appointments for the new members coming in and replacing the members that just vacated those spots.
Yes.
And then as far as the design review board goes, we did not receive all of the application vacancies. So I am thankful for Ted and Carrie continuing in your position until we fill those. And at our next meeting, we will go through and vote on new chair and vice chair positions. As from my understanding, it's been a while since we've done that. So we'll at least give everybody the chance to do that. And if it comes down to one of the members that is vacating that position and is elected as a vice chair or chair, we'll do that when the new members do come in. So
Sounds good.
Got my hand up there.
I see.
Is is Ted reapplying? That's my question.
I am not.
You are not.
No, I think it is time for me to step away and let somebody else take the lead.
Oh, I'm gonna cry, Ted.
Me too.
Good thing we don't see your video.
That's right.
No, John told me it's been since 2013, and Christine, you were on the board before I got there, so
I was?
I believe you were.
I thought we got on at the same time. Are you sure?
I'm not positive. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm off. Remember, yeah, I think we got on at the same time. Yeah. They just see Lars and I just kind of got reappointed last time because they didn't have anybody, right, Lars?
Well, we officially
They-
applied, but
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. So Carrie's you're in the same position then? Not reapplying, but willing to stay on. kind of thing.
I have reapplied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was hoping that others would of our community would step up and maybe want to take this position. I'm wholeheartedly encouraging our community, whoever may hear this, to join this board and participate. But I'm certainly glad to do it, considering we have a certain I guess category in order to fill. So I'm here to do that. So yeah, I'm thrilled to be as part of this board, and it's been a great experience. So I think it would be lovely for some of us to even step down and let others take, I guess take this role. It's a great opportunity, and we're glad to have board member Hanley and also Marshall on board. It's awesome, and it gets better the more we do it. Christine's always sort of mentioned consistency and seeing projects come and go is sort of a value to this board. But however, there is a value to have new, fresh minds and participate. I'm here to wholeheartedly again try to get people of this community to step up and participate as a board member.
Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Here,
I'm,
here.
I'll stay on for as long as needed, but I would like us to have an election and someone else to take the reins would be great.
You've been a chair a long time, Ted. It's time someone overthrows you personally. So
It's time for a coup.
Revolution.
you remember that, yeah. So it's been great. I mean, wow. So.
Yeah. Christine, your hand went up. I got you that time.
Ted can't leave until he's voted as Time Person of the Year.
Till he's on a banner. Till he's on a banner out here on Main Street.
Yeah, that's a good call. All right. I like
Sorry,
it.
Ted, you're staying, Ted. Sorry about that, but
Is that a motion? Do I hear another motion?
that's a motion.
Well, it sounds like we're approving a
I guess
sign,
that's
and you know how we are.
I know.
We're
Well, hell, Halo lit. Ted Luthen.
I don't know about that.
Oh,
Now
that's
you're making me uncomfortable. All right. It's time to end this meeting.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks all.